Hello, church family. Wow, what a crazy week it has been already. COVID-19, also known as the coronavirus, is quickly starting to upend our lives in ways that we never expected. And unfortunately, I'm here to tell you that the same will be true for our church life together. Yesterday, I met with pastors throughout the High Rock Network where we ultimately made the decision to cancel public worship across all 10 High Rock churches. And because the situation is so fluid, we here in Quincy are currently planning to return to worship on March 29th. However, it is likely that we may not be able to meet for public worship until Easter or maybe even beyond. I know that some of you may be asking the question, well, why? And Pastor Stephen, aren't we just giving into fear if we do that? Aren't we just giving into the hype? And I can certainly see why any of us might think that, but in truth, my biggest fear isn't getting sick. My biggest fear is actually canceling Sunday service, not being there with all of you. In my own insecurities, I sometimes feel like we have to meet on Sundays and we need to wow you with a worship team and a great sermon for us to keep momentum as a church community. Well, all of those are lies that I have to wrestle with, but they did give me some pause when considering all of this. On top of all those lies, then is the reality that not meeting on Sunday morning will probably have a negative effect on our church budget. So in truth, we're actually doing the thing that I'm most afraid of, but I believe it's the right thing to do, and here's why. You've probably heard on the news about many things being canceled out of an abundance of caution. We want to take a different approach. We won't be meeting in large public spaces for a different reason, an abundance of love. Yesterday, I spoke with the wife of one of our church members who was so sad to share with me that her husband wouldn't be able to attend church for quite some time, and this due to the nature of his uniquely compromised respiratory system. And my heart really went out to the two of them, and it reminded me that we have a responsibility in this moment to care for the most vulnerable. On Sunday, I shared about the amazing history the Christian church has in caring for the sick during the 4th century Roman plague and the 14th century bubonic plague, when all others ran the other direction, governors, community leaders, even doctors, they all fled, but Christians risked their lives to help the sick, and as a result, the church exploded. Jesus, of course, was an amazing model for this. He reached out and touched and healed the lepers without any fear when nobody else would. Now we have a very different situation, and the hard reality is that some of you may soon be carriers of this new virus, but it's not that severe, so most people, even if they do have it, might not even know it. So it's not that we're afraid of touching the sick or even becoming sick, it's that we ourselves may represent a threat to others becoming sick. Some of you have seen this graph that shows the potential outcome in our near future. And what we want to avoid, what we want to help our communities avoid, is a spike in this graph. The more we can flatten out this bell curve, the more we will relieve stress on our medical communities, and the less we will all be at risk. In the meantime, your pastoral staff will be getting a much-needed break, and I'm actually in the Caribbean as we speak. No. Of course, I'm kidding. Here's the beautiful thing. The church is not defined by our Sunday morning meetings. We're defined by Christ, who lives in us and binds us all together as a family in His name. And we want to continue to be that family together. Small groups can continue to meet, though we recommend good hand washing and we encourage people to avoid any type of holy touch for a couple of months. On Sundays, we will be preparing virtual worship services. For now, we're going to be suspending our Flourishing series about sex, singleness, and marriage. But look for a brief message from me this Sunday morning. And the following Sunday, March 22nd, we are going to have a virtual service with everyone from the High Rock Network. And we encourage everyone with a smartphone or smart TV to attend from wherever you are. More details on that will come in the days to come. But we're also working with our network pastors to produce some daily devotionals that will also be available via social media. In addition, our local pastors here in Quincy are looking to stay connected with all of you. And one thing I would love to do is to hear your stories. Each of you has a great story about what God has done or is doing in your life. So let's seize this moment to share these stories with each other. So look for some invitations to share our stories in the coming weeks. And for those of you who may experience hardship or disruptions caused by COVID-19 or by the disease itself, we want to know. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our care team, and we'll be checking in with all of you as well. Lastly, and this one's a bit awkward, but I have to say it, we've done a great job in our church collecting our tithes and offerings via automated online giving, and we recommend this for everyone in our church because it's a good way just to remain faithful and consistent and to remind ourselves that the money that God gives to us is for His mission. It belongs to Him in the first place. I know, though, that many of you are still giving on Sunday mornings, and that's fine, but that represents more than a third of our budget. So during these weeks, we want to encourage those of you who call High Rock Church your home to continue to give online, and you can find all the info you need at highrockquincy.org/giving. Well, church, this is going to be a strange moment in life, so let's persist in prayer for the sick. Let's meet with one another in small groups as we're able. God is so good, and we look forward with great expectation to the kingdom that is coming, where there will be no more sickness and no more pain. In the meantime, we lean into the countercultural idea that Jesus Himself told Paul, "My power is made perfect in weakness." So, stay tuned to Facebook and watch for more communications regarding how we can continue to stay connected in the days ahead.